Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials. In today's video we are going to see how to choose a costume in Scratch. And if you look at this thumbnail image, it looks like very much like something which we have learned already in previous videos when we have choose the sprite. So beginner users can be confused what is the difference now between a costume and a sprite, and that's what we are going to explain first for all of you who don't know, because that's very important to understand the whole idea of sprites and costumes and principles and videos which we are going to make in future, and then later it will be much easier for you to understand the whole process. Okay, so when we start the Scratch, we start with one image of cat on the screen, and it's called sprite 1. And we have learned earlier that this image or any image in Scratch and other game engine is called sprite, and that you can pick some of those sprites by clicking on this choose sprite, which will open the sprite Scratch library for you. So if this image is a sprite, then what is the costume? To be more precise, this image should be looked as a set of images, as a box of images, as a container for other images. So in this image of cat, we have more than one image, and to prove you that, I will click on this tab on the top left corner, which says costumes. So when you do that, you can see now that we have two images here: costume 1 with cat walking, and costume 2 with cat like running, let's say, maybe walking but faster or changing the position. But obviously those two images are not the same. There is a difference in cat's legs and arms. So if I pick costume 1 and go to code, then the image on the screen will stay like that. If I pick the costume 2 like this and go to code, then the cat on the screen looks different now. And same is working with this choose sprite library. When you go over some sprites, again some sprites, that is important, not every, you can see how images changes, like this Casey dance, or Calvert cat, butterfly 2 bear. But this beach ball doesn't change, so it means it has only one costume, it has only one image in it. Same with apple. This cat 2 also, for example. So this balloon has lots of images in it, different. Let's click on it to select it. So these sprites like cat and balloon, if I click on costumes, they have lots of different images in them. And some sprites like cat 2 and apple, I think, and beach ball, they have only one costume, only one image. So you cannot pick or choose different images. So far, costumes for apple, beach ball, or cat 2, they have only one image in them. So this sprite cat 2 has only one costume, apple has only one costume, beach ball has only one costume, and these sprite 1 or cat has two costumes, balloon 3, and Anina Dance, you see how many, 13 of those, 13 of different costumes, so we can pick anything we like. Why is that so? Because sometimes you want to have animations in your game, so these costumes are mostly used for that, to create animations, to make something move or change position, size, color, or something like that. That's called animation. Or to put some other image here to make different state of um, character. For example, our cat can have one costume here for walking, another costume for swimming, another for flying, and so on. So when we choose a costume, that costume will show up on the screen. Some sprites have only one costume, we saw that with Cat2, Apple, and Beach Ball, just to be clear, and some have more. Again, that is not only Scratch feature, that is something which is used in animation and game development when you have more complex animated games, and I have opened two Google search result, one for sprite sheets and another for animation frames, so you can try to Google for those also to understand this better if you're still confused. So Google for sprite sheets. What is a sprite sheet? Sheets already exist since the first day of computer games. The idea is to create one big image that contains all of animations of character instead of dealing with many single files. So think about this sprite one Scratch Cat as one container for all other images, like they said here for sprite sheets. One image that contains all animations. Those animations are called in Scratch costumes. Those are different, like this, different images for different states, so you can have idle, walk, run, push, whatever you need or want for your game, and you can see how some of those are very complex, or you need to create lots of different images, costumes for complex games. And same goes with animation frames. I have searched for that just to show you that it's the same principle, it's the same thing, it's only just called differently here. So if you want, for example, to make your character moves in Scratch and to look nice and nicely animated, you can create different costumes, different images in one sprite. For example, 3, 6, 9 of those in a row, and that way it will look much better on the screen. And again, those costumes in Scratch, they are, for example, called frames, I think, in GameMaker. So we also have sprites in GameMaker like we have in Scratch, but costumes, which are called costumes in Scratch, are called frames in GameMaker. The principle is the same. Okay, same with Unity and Unreal. All of those use sprite with sprite sheets and different frames. So this was a little bit, almost 10 minutes long, and I will maybe make another video especially for this, but now let's finally choose a costume. So far we have only chosen sprites here. Choose a sprite, and we now learn that some sprites have more than one costumes. Those sprites are animated, and sometimes you will need them, sometimes you won't. I will now hide this cat, hide this apple, for example, beach, ball, Anina Dance, and balloon, just to focus on this cat. Okay, so where we have learned that you can choose a sprite by clicking on this button here, but where is this button, the button to choose a costume? This button will open only if you first click on Costumes tab. this button first in top left corner of your screen, costumes, to see how many costumes your sprite has, and then here in bottom left we have a choose costume. And as you can see, it's like a complete copy paste replica of the one on the right. On the right there is a choose a sprite, and on the left there is a choose a costume. So let's click on it, or this one with magnifying glass. It's the same principle, and see what will happen. Oh, so we have costumes for all of those sprites from sprite library. So this is like, we can say, costume library. So if we scroll to see the cat, ABC cat, yeah, here it is. So we have those two costumes for cat which we have seen earlier. So I can, for example, add another cat A or cat B, or maybe some other character here like catcher A. Maybe my cat will transform in game into a dog or dragon or wolf, maybe like a werewolf. I'm not sure if we have a wolf here. That would be cool to show that also. And a W wolf, which watermelon, no. Okay, so we will go with yeah, we have a flying cat. Yeah, that would be a good example. So I can pick whatever I want here from this costume library. I will pick this cat flying B. And before I do that, just take a closer look at these top left corner, costume 1, costume 2. So we have 2 costumes, and now when I go choose a costume and add cat flying B, we will have how many? 2 plus 1, we will have 3 of those. Okay, so now I can make a game with cat flying like this. So this is great. So instead of creating that for myself on my own or trying to find that on internet, I already have it here on costumes. Choose the costume and pick a costume which I need. In this case, this was great option for me. Sometimes we won't be able to find everything we need. So again, one more example and we finish this. When you're going to use this and why and how. For example, I have my game like this. Cat is walking on the road. I will add some background. We have learned that before. Yeah, this one will do. Blue sky. I will click and drag cat, so cat will be on the floor, and my idea or my game designer says, okay, when the cat has some kind of, I don't know, power up or superpowers or whatever, when it eats some kind of special fruit, I want the cat to be able to fly, and I want the player to be able to press the button F to fly. And okay, I will say something like this: when button key F is pressed, I want the cat to do what? To move. That is motion. Move. Where? Move on Y position, and or maybe glide. Yeah. Change Y by 10. So let me see if this works. F, sorry, yeah. So I would have to press F and this works, okay. But the problem here is what? The problem here is that this looks like cat is still with the same pose. It's still like walking in the air. I don't want to do that. My game designer or myself is thinking about maybe we need some better graphics here. We need this cat to change to something else, to some other look, like Superman flying look. Okay, we already have that in our costumes. It's called cat flying bee, so I will pick this. Yeah, but sometimes I want my cat to move left and right on the ground, so when it does, I want the cat to look like this. And when it flies, I want to look like this. So we are in some kind of problem or task to solve. So there are two possible features. One states, one for walking and another for flying. So when the game starts, I want my cat to look how? Like this. And this is called costume 1. So I will pick, so we have learned this before in block tutorials, Scratch block tutorials, which you can find on my channel. Okay, so switch to costume 1 when the game starts, and I want the position of the cat to be where? On X and Y, like this, or maybe in the, yeah, like this is okay. And if my player press the button F, then do what? Then switch the costume to what? We're just making a simple example, but for more complex game, of course, this would need more time. Okay, so when the F button is pressed, I want this cat flying bee. Okay, so just click and find it here. Switch costume to cat flying bee and then change Y by 10. So now if everything works as I think it will work, the cat will start on this position when I press the green flag when the game starts, and if I press the button F, it will go up in the air for 10 pixels and it will change its costume so it will look like it's flying. Yeah, so you can see, whoa. So, and if I restart it, the costume is walking. So we have two states, two costumes, one for walking and one for flying. And that's really good example how and when you are going to use it, and again how and when you are going to choose it. Use it and choose it. First choose it, then use it. And yeah, we will learn soon, very soon, how to create some of those on your own. So sometimes you will need some custom thing here. So let's finish this one and do that in next videos. Thanks for watching. This one was a little bit longer, about 20 minutes, but we have learned so many new things here, and even some simple game or animation to make on your own. See you soon.